Hi everyone, this is Gierki and today I would like to show you my workflow, how I'm importing my assets from Blender to Godot. So as you can see, this is an open world game I'm working on, and you fly here with a VTOL and you have a completely AI driven economy where the player is just a part of that world, where you can trade, fight and all of that stuff. I figured out a workflow for my personal use that I'm really happy with, and today I would just like to share it with you. Okay, so let's start with that. So everything basically starts for me personally in Blender, where I'm creating all of the assets in just one file. Why? Because I just want to be sure to match the entire and overall style of the game, and if I would do it in separate files I would have mismatches. So that's why I'm always trying to do everything in one file, and after that, when I'm happy with the result that I have here, I'm taking the entire thing that I want to export to Godot. Like here, for example, I took this this VTOL here, and I'm creating a new file. So in this case, I already did that, so I'm going to show you where I put it and how I did that. So basically, I'm creating a new file in my, that's actually from, yeah, here you have some insights. So I have my models folder, then I have playables, that's a VTOL, so it's under VTOL, and that's the name of the VTOL, so it's 2x1. And here is my new blend file where I'm only having this one asset, and all the meshes that belongs to this asset. So when we open that up, we can basically here see two VTOLs. Why? Because on one side we have everything that I used in the other file with all of the modifiers, like in this case, for example, we have the mirror modifier, and on the right side I am applying that mirror modifier and adding, for example, the door, because the door here is just an extra object, and just for modularity and easier to model stuff here, I'm still using the modifiers. Okay, so on the right side here, this is the part that we want to export to Godot itself. So very important here is to understand that later on Godot is going to use the mesh names, not the object names of the meshes, basically, or actually the Blender objects, and it's going to create files from that. So if you just natively rename everything in Blender here with F2 and you just rename everything, all of the mesh names are not actually changed. So how can we fix that? So first of all, what I'm doing is I'm renaming it with names that I will recognize later in Godot. For example, here we have gun left, or engine, or ramp. And after I have done that, I'm marking all of the stuff that I want to, where I want to rename the mesh name. And I'm going under script, and I have here this short script where I am renaming the obj.to.mesh. So after executing that, we can see here that the engine flame, for example, the object is called engine flame, and the mesh name of that object is also called engine flame. And that's very important, because now we are taking the entire thing here and we are exporting that as again a separate file. So for me it's, let me do it with the hard way. So export, and I'm doing FBX file. Godot is supporting many other files. This is just for me. I'm used to using FBX, so you can do whatever you want here. What we want is we want to have the same folder again where we have our blend file, and we want to export our selected objects, and we want to apply the transform. So we also want to have the same name like the blend file and just have the ending FBX. So we are exporting that, and we can basically already save it or don't save it. Do whatever you want with your blend file. All the data is already here in the FBX file. So here is now the part where the mesh names are important. So we double click that, and we here have the mesh tab, and we double check if all of the names are correct. It's very important to have those names correctly. Why? Because here you can see already on the left side here that Godot is actually using those names to create our mesh arrays, or array meshes actually. And how can we do that? So after we double check that our mesh names are correct and all of the meshes are that we want to use, you can go on actions and set mesh save paths, and we again select the same folder, and here Godot is checking if you already have a file like that, and if yes, if something has changed. And sometimes this process, this checking what Godot is doing, is not working. So in this case, you have option number A, delete the FBX file, create a new one, or you can go in the file manager and just delete the import data. So I'm gonna do that, for example, and here Godot is going to re-import that, but it's not connected right now with the other meshes, so we are going to do it now. And when we go here, it says that the file is already existing, and that's a good thing because we want that, right? So here we set this up, and here under the material tab, since I am using in my blend file only two materials, my universal PixPal material and my transparent material, here, in case you're doing the same thing, and I highly recommend it if you're using low poly stuff or this half low poly stuff that I'm using, I recommend using a material like that. You can download it from Infantia. I'm gonna put the link in the description. So here you just enable the material that you want to use. I have it organized under 04 material, standard material, because there are actually many different kinds of materials. So we have standard material, utilities, and that's my PixPal material. And we do the same thing for the transparent stuff. So we go on materials, standard materials, utilities, and transparent. So here we have it. And now we can re-import that. Now the cool thing is that this FBX file was imported in Godot. It created these files here, which are the array mesh files, and the material is already attached to it. So you can now just basically take this resource here and drag in and drop it wherever you want. For example, let us create here an empty thing, an empty scene here, and we want to create a mesh instance, and we want to use, let's say, the hull. So we just drag and drop it, and it already has the material attached to it that we actually want to have. And now comes the really cool part. For example, let's say we want to change this hole here and we want to move it further back because we are not happy with the angle of the gun or turret, whatever. So basically how you can change that is you just go into your blend file. Let's open it up quickly, and let's hide the turret and everything else, and we just go into our mesh here and manipulate our vertices. And I'm gonna take this with me here, and we can just move it to the back where we think that it's now better. So now that we have done that, we just take again all of those objects. Everything is already named like we want it, and we just go on export, FBX again, select objects, apply transform, export, we close it, we save it, don't save it, do whatever you want. And now the magic happens. Boom. And it's updated. So that's a really cool thing here. The reason why I'm splitting these two things, the blend file from the actual import file, is because I have more control over which files I really want to import, and this folder is not going to get too crowded, and I'm only using the stuff that I really want to import. That was for me, for my workflow, very important here. So I didn't only do it for the VTOL ship here, I have also done it for my turrets. So here I also have my blend file, which is in this case actually very organized, and it's basically the same thing. So I can show you the blend file, and the FBX file is in this case looks identical because I already organized it very much in the blend file, and yeah, I just exported it in the FBX file. But it gives you flexibility. So in case, for example, you don't organize your blend file as much as in this case the turrets here, you still have a playground there, and you only export what you actually need in Godot itself, right? Naming is a very important thing here because you can find everything later on. And in case, for example, now my turrets here, what I want to implement next is I want to have a own resource file. So actually the gun 360 controller, collider, whatever, it's not gonna know which projectiles it's gonna shoot. No, you're gonna feed it with a resource, and the resource is going to use this mesh arrays here. So yeah, it's gonna be an improvement, because then you just drag and drop into that already existing gun controller here the actual gun you want to use, so you're more flexible from a design point of view. Okay, so that's my approach on how I am importing from Blender to Godot. Yeah, if you're interested into the in the open world game aspect, feel free to subscribe on YouTube or just go on Discord, and I'm posting there pretty regularly now, like almost every day. And yeah, thank you for watching, and bye.